Japan, I'm Marissa.
And I'm Ayla.
This is Station JNI coming to you live. Today we'll be reporting to you about the issues about early Japan.
Our first segment is about religion.
Buddhism is the most popular religion and came to Japan in 552.
Some ways you can come closer to salvation is through meditation and good deeds.
It teaches you about life, death, and enlightenment. Here are some live Buddhists with us today.
Megan and Kara.
Another big part of Japanese Buddhism are the temples. The temples are used to be places of worship. All of these Japanese cities should have at least one temple. Temples are not only used for worship, but also to store and display sacred Buddhist objects. Structures typically found at our Japanese temples are the main hall, the lecture hall, the pagoda, gates, bell, and the cemetery.
Right now we're going to be discussing the topic of feudalism.
Feudalism, in a summary, is the exchange for something for land. The Japanese developed a feudal system which is similar to the European system.
The shogun, which is like a king in the European system, ruled the country through the daimyo, which is like a noble, and are heads of the samurais like the knights.
The peasants farm the land in exchange for protection by the samurai. Samurais operate under the code of conduct called Bushido.
Society is organized under a rigid class system with no social mobility.
Tokugawa shoguns maintain an ethnocentric policy toward the outside world.
Feudalism is a big part of Japan now.
And it always will be.
Lastly, customs and traditions of Japan are very important. Our code of etiquette rules the social behavior of Japanese people.
It is mandatory for every individual to conform the customs and traditions. Our Japanese people also have to follow them without fail.
Some of these traditions have been followed for a while now, and I'm sure they will be modernized in the future.
Not only family, but visitors are also expected to learn and perform these customs.
Some of the things that are a part of our daily life is bathing. Although the traditional Japanese bathtub is small, square, and is only deep enough to go up to our shoulders.
Giving gifts is another popular tradition for here in Japan, where you go out of town and it is very nice to bring back a souvenir for wherever you went.
When going into school, your house, any building, or a friend's house, it is proper to always remove your shoes and make sure you're wearing good, clean socks.
Our customs are very important to us and they help us keep our past alive.
You just watched a traditional Japanese greeting, and our next segment is going to be about samurais and how important they are to our Japanese life. Today, one of the things we are going to talk about is the samurais. Samurai were famous for the unique ethic code of behavior called the Bushido. Bushido literally means the way of the Lord, and its heart referred to the absolute loyalty the samurai had for their lord, the daimyo. The duties of the samurai were to act as military retainers for these daimyos. As a samurai, a man was allowed certain very specific and special privileges. These privileges included wearing 2 swords, 1 long sword and 1 short sword. This was considered a privilege as commoners were not allowed to wear weapons. It even came to the point when a samurai's privileges allowed him to behead a commoner if he felt offended by them.
Thank you so much for watching JNI News. I hope you enjoyed our show. Tune in tomorrow at 4 o'clock for more news on Japan.